What's up, guys? Doomwick here. Welcome to another modern video. Before we continue, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday. That is a huge milestone for me, so thank you to everyone who has been very supportive of the channel. I know we've gotten a bunch of views over the past couple of days. It seems like y'all are very interested in Modern Horizons 2, so I thank you very much for that, and I really appreciate that. Today, we got some more Modern Horizons 2 goodness. If you saw the video, the last video I recorded, it was with a Hollow One, Vengevine, Asmo cookbook kind of amalgamation, and pretty easily we 5-0'd. And I've been playing that deck a little bit on my Twitch stream, and we kind of, like, the version that I've been trying is the Feasting Troll King, which is, for those of you who don't know, 6 mana, 7/6, Fidge, Trample. When there's a battlefield, if you cast from your hand, make 3 food tokens. You're never casting it from your hand, and then you can sacrifice 3 food to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that was like the one thing that I had realized about the previous versions is that the best draws involved, you know, turn 1, Underworld Cookbook, discard, make a food, turn 2, discard something else, make a food, play something else that made a 3rd food, and then you could just put this into play on turn 2. So the direction that we're going here is we're focusing a lot more on the food package. Like we have Witch's Oven, we have Gilded Goose, we have Trail of Crumbs. So kind of like the engines that you were similar or you were used to back in Standard. We also have Cauldron Familiar to go with our Witch's Ovens. So it's a deck that's a little bit more focused on the food generation aspect with Feasting Troll King. This was suggested to me by a person in my Twitch chat when I was live on, I think it was Friday or Saturday. And we ended up, or actually no, it was yesterday, it was Sunday. Lose track of time sometimes. But anyways, somebody suggested, like, you know, what if we just went deeper on the food, played Goose, played Oven, and then I had a version, I think the first version I played was this particular deck list, and this version felt okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the blue cards, but we pretty easily 5-0'd it. It wasn't even really close. This version I don't even think was that good, and we still very easily 5-0'd on stream. And then what we did is we decided that we didn't like the blue, decided to cut the blue cards, go focused on more, just focus on more of a 2-color deck, easily 5-0'd again with just black-green. So basically I'm 10-0 with iterations of this deck on stream. And this deck is slightly different than what we ended up 5-0ing with. We had Satyr Wayfinder and Smuggler's Copter. We have replaced those with Lotless Trolls and Stitcher Suppliers. Lotless Trolls a little bit more powerful against Graveyard Hate, hits a little bit harder too, and Stitcher Supplier over Satyr Wayfinder for mana considerations. But essentially, what we're trying to do here is, again, so we're focusing on the interaction between Cookbook and Asmo. Cookbook, you can discard something, play Asmo, get another Cookbook, discard something else. Cookbook is also kind of insane with Ovalchase Daredevil, and the reason for that is if you discard the Daredevil to the Cookbook, you get a food gets back Daredevil, so it's basically just make a free food, which you can imagine is pretty good when you have Troll King and Asmo, which both pay you off for having a ton of food. And then, again, the rest of the deck is Stitcher Supplier to mill over Daredevils, Feasting Troll Kings, Cauldron Familiars if you have an Oven in play. And then we have Goose to make more food, Trail to make only 1 Trail. I think it's a little bit slow, but I do want to try it out. It is kind of an interesting card to me, especially in like against Graveyard Hate. You can kind of just put a bunch of food into play and generate some value that way. We have Lotless Trolls to discard Feasting Troll King and maybe discard Daredevil. We can get it back if we play an artifact. Just more stuff to put Troll King into the graveyard. Street Wraith is kind of a bit of a point of contention for this deck. I've seen people saying that you should cut it, and it doesn't do as much when you're not playing with Hollow One, because Hollow One really paid you off for discarding cards for 1 or 0 mana. But the thing about Street Wraith is it still enables turn 1 Asmo, which is important in some matchups. So I think it is worth playing Street Wraith, even though it doesn't do as much in this deck. Again, the reason we're playing 4 is because we have to play 4 copies of Asmo, because this is like one of, if not the best card in the deck. So I really just want to always enable Asmo when I have it, make sure that I can always turn it on. and then the aforementioned Troll Kings to kind of, we're playing 4 of this, which you might seem like a lot because we don't really usually have enough food to be able to bring 2 back, but it's just part of your nut draw, so I just want to play 4 copies. I want to always maximize my opportunities to play this, to put this into play on turn 2. And then we have a new addition here, which I have not, this is another suggestion from Twitch chat that I kind of overlooked in this particular deck. Urza Saga was another new card from Modern Horizons 2. So Urza Saga in this deck is obscene. It not only tutors for Cookbook and Witch's Oven, which are your engine pieces, allow you to get more food to make sure you can utilize Troll King and Asmo properly, but it's also another card that, given, if you already have engine or Cookbook Oven going and you're making a ton of food, also Goose just makes us food every turn. If you're making a bunch of food, your 2 constructs off of Sagas just are gigantic. And control decks, I found that I haven't played against a lot of control decks with this configuration. But control decks it's almost impossible for control decks to beat this card if you play it on turn 2. Because you just play it on turn 2. Turn 3, you play your 3rd land, make a construct. Turn 4, 3rd chapter on the stack, make a 2nd construct, and go get another engine piece. And then you now have 2 6/6s in play. And you basically didn't even have to play any cards. Like, all you did was play a land. So, and yeah, again, obviously you can get the engine pieces. I've messed around with like some 1-ofs, like a main deck Nihil Spellbomb. You can also play an expedition map to go get more sagas, so that your sagas kind of chain into each other. But I found the expedition map to be quite bad in your opening hand, so we're not going to go ahead and we're not going to be playing that today. And then the rest of the deck, rounding out with some fetch lands. I have 1 Urborg, 1 Yavimaya. I like playing one of each of these because, especially with the addition of Lotleth Troll, black-green on turn 2, it's kind of awkward if you have an Urza Saga in play. Or I guess, like, you're not going to play this on turn 2, because if you turn one of these, then you only have black, or green. But even on turn 3, like, if you, for some reason, don't want to activate your Saga, just having a colorless land with Lotleth Troll, even, like, turn 1, Urborg, turn 2, Urza Saga, double black spell, like 2 1-mana black spells. Especially, it comes up a lot after sideboarding with Fatal Push and Thoughtseize. The Yavimaya is a little bit less necessary because you don't have as many green 1-mana cards, but you have, like, Goose and Nature's Claim, so it could come up. But I feel like the first copy of each is kind of free enough, so I don't mind playing one of each. And then in the sideboard, just some anti-creature cards, Fatal Push, anti-control cards / combo cards, Thoughtseize, Nature's Claim to blow up Graveyard Hate along with Force of Vigor, and then we also have Tormod's Crypt to be able to search for with Urza Saga. That's why we have 1 Crypt, 1 Needle. Those are kind of our bullet sideboard targets for Saga. 1 Damping Sphere, 1 Ashiok. We're splitting our Tron Hate because Damping Sphere, like, both of these are also good against Amulet Titan, but I like splitting them because sometimes, so there's 2 reasons why I like splitting them. Sometimes the Titan decks bring in disenchant effects like Force of Vigor, Reclamation Sage. It's harder for them to answer Ashiok on the battlefield, but Damping Sphere comes down on turn 2. So there's situations where you need to play Damping Sphere on turn 2 if they're on the play and they have a turn 3 Titan draw. And sometimes Ashiok's not fast enough, but there are also situations where you draw Damping Sphere, it gets Force of Vigor, and then you die. So I don't mind playing a split of 1 of each because they're both kind of lights out against Titan. And then the 1 Trail of Crumbs, again, it's sort of our sideboard package, like when we want to go a little bit longer, bring in the Trail and the Thoughtseize, we can play a bit, and Trail's also good against Graveyard Hate. And then we have 1 Endurance for the Mirror Match. I do expect a lot of people to pick up the food Troll King deck, and Endurance is kind of a beating in the Mirror Match. If they, like, sacrifice 3 foods to get back a Troll King, you can respond, Endurance back their stuff. And then it's also decent, like, if they discard Daredevil and you want to get rid of that, you can also Endurance that away. So there's some stuff, also gets rid of Familiar. So there's some utility for it. But it's just a nice catch-all. It's good against Mill, too, which I think Mill might be a bad matchup. So that is the deck list again. We have been doing very, very well with this particular deck on the Twitch stream recently, which I will drop a link for in the description below if you want to go check that out. And then, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this deck. And with that, I will see you back in just a little bit for round number 1. Alright, YouTube, we're back here for round number 1. I have elected to keep this hand It's not the most exciting hand, but we do have Cookbook, some lands. It's essentially 3 random cards over here. So Cookbook, 3 lands, 3 random cards. I think is good enough. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle these first. Get these out of the way. And that's why. But I'm actually gonna play Cookbook on turn 1 here, because then I can go end step, discard Troll King, untap, discard land, play Asmo's second Cookbook. Yeah, and then I'm gonna have 3 food. So I'll discard, I guess, the Catacombs. We'll get a Cookbook, play Swamp, play Cookbook, discard Urborg, I think. I'm not sure which one's better to discard there. And we have turn 2 Troll King. I would say an above average draw. Our opponent seems to agree with us. Endatha Triome, concede, huh? I don't know what I'm supposed to make of Endatha Triome, concede. Could be some sort of Draco Tribal Zoo deck. Could be Niv Mizzet. I mean, it could just be some sort of Abzan deck, but less likely. I think I'm not going to sideboard. Yeah, I'll just run it back. If they're Draco, like, assuming that they were the Draco Zoo tribal deck, I guess I would bring in Fatal Push. But if they're Niv Mizzet, Fatal Push is horrifically bad, so I don't want to... I guess there's some merit to maybe hedging your bets a little bit with Fatal Push, because it, like, even if they're Niv Mizzet, Fatal Push can at least tag Omnath, but it's still just not that good. This hand's really good. We can go turn 1 Cookbook. Turn 1 Cookbook, discard Troll King. Turn 2, we can cycle Street Wraith, look for Asmo. If we brick, we can either play Troll or Supplier. The reason you want to lead on Cookbook is you want to get as many food in play before your second turn, because, like, leading on Cookbook gives you the most avenues of turn 2ing the Troll King. So that's why you always want to lead on Cookbook. They went to 5. It appears that they're mulliganing for Graveyard Hate. Maybe Leyline. This hand's not the best against Leyline, but we do have Lotleth Troll, which is decent against Leyline. Alright, so Forest Hierarch, so I guess, yeah. My prediction of some sort of Zoo deck is probably correct. Because I have the Cookbook, it's kind of a free roll to cycle Street Wraith on 1. But that at the same time, I'm not going to play Asmo on turn 1 because I want to be able to play Asmo and get value out of it, so I'm still just going to play the Cookbook. It's worse if they have, like, Reclamation Sage or some sort of disenchant type effect, because in those scenarios I'd rather lead on Asmo, but they have more removal spells than they do disenchants most likely. And they are choosing not to attack. Huh. Could have some sort of Graveyard Hate, like a Surgical Extraction, maybe. I'm trying to think of why they wouldn't attack. Assassin's Trophy, and they're planning on trophying this? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they had Surgical Extraction, they would probably just attack and pay 2 life, right? It's got to just be Decay or Trophy. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind too much with that. Alright, cycle this, try and spike Asmo. Ooh. That's not bad. I was going to play Lotleth Troll, but in order to play Troll, I have to play Forest, which means I can't get the Saga going, so I think it's just better to do this. And this. Play Saga, pass. And then what I can do is make a construct, next turn make a construct, get another Cookbook. Alright, Vindicate my land. Kinda rude, TBH. I think I'd rather have the Supplier to pump the Troll, because milling... Yeah, milling doesn't really accomplish much here. Like, the only thing I could mill over... If I mill over Familiars, it's not great, because I kind of want to keep the food for Troll King. If I mill over Daredevils, it's kind of whatever, because I don't have any artifacts to get it. So, I think I'm just going to hold on. Start the beatdowns. We have a black mana up for regeneration. That's the other nice thing about holding on for a turn on the Troll, is now they can't kill the Troll unless they have Path to Exile. Alright. Is it hardcast Daredevil time? I don't think it is. I think it's just shove on the troll time, honestly. Yeah. 6, they go to 9. I don't really think there's much reason to play the land. I'd probably rather hold it for a cookbook, because I'm already on 1 food, so I just want more resources to get back the... That I probably should have just discarded. Although, I guess it doesn't change the clock, so maybe discarding it's worse. Go to 3. Yeah, it's just like, that's the reason I like Lot of Troll so much, is there's so many decks that just can't really interact with it in a meaningful way. Like, my opponent's removal spells are Trophy and Vindicate, and neither of those touch the Troll, so... Yeah, that's a really big plus for Troll. Easy dub over here. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 2. Alright, YouTube, back here for round number 2. Sand has a decent number of lands, but we do have turn 1 Asmo, so I am going to keep it. Turn 1 Asmo against Flooded Strand might not be the best. Probably should have fetched first to thin my deck a little bit. Kind of wanted to play Blooming Marsh on turn 1, though. In case they have a removal spell for the Asmo, I'm going to save the other Street Wraith. I guess like they would need a removal spell for this and a counter spell for the cookbook that I play next turn. And I would have to draw another Asmo. But like, now that I've already cycled Street Wraith, there's nothing else I would do on turn 1 than play Asmo, so there's not really a ton of reason to cycle this one. Let's see what they are thinking about. Maybe just a little bit of a pause. I tend to play pretty fast. Faster than most people. So we have to decide next turn if we want to play Troll. I think my ideal setup would be Troll and then discard Daredevil, play Cookbook, get Daredevil back. Then I can either maybe... Well, if they're a Watery Grave deck, I might want to wait until I have Fatal Push protection. Just thinking that might have been a Path to Exile deck, but... Esper Control usually plays Fatal Push over... I'm just going to attack first. Esper Control usually plays Fatal Push over Path to Exile. So it's probably better to wait a turn on the Troll. Also, the ability on Asmo isn't particularly great against Esper, so, I mean, it being a 1-mana 3/3 and pressure is good, but... So, because we want to hold on to the Troll, I'm just going to play Cookbook. I'm going to see if Cookbook resolves before I decide to cycle Street Wraith, because if they force this, I might want to wait on the Street Wraith for Asmo purposes. I feel like if they have force, they're going to force, because I don't really have many better targets. So they didn't counter that, which means I can freely cycle Street Wraith. So let's just do that. Maybe I should have fetched first to thin my deck. Alright, let's play that. Pass. Opt. Sure. I guess they were deciding on whether to shock and opt on turn 1. I found Control to generally be a very, very favorable matchup because they just have such a hard time beating Urza Saga. Granted, we don't have that card at our disposal right now, but... sure. So they're going to bounce Asmo, most likely. It's fine. Discard Daredevil, get it back. So now we can go... Discard Daredevil. Play Asmo. Get another Cookbook. Play another Cookbook. Discard Troll King. Get back Troll King. Play Catacombs. Pass. And yeah, like if they verdict us, it's kind of annoying, but we have 2 cookbooks to set up 2 food to get the Troll King back, so we're not even that far off of getting Troll King back anyways. I feel like they need some sort of exile removal spell in order to win this game. I don't think like Verdict is going to get the job done. This deck has so many insulations against Supreme Verdict. between the Troll King and like this coming back, this regenerating, Urza Saga being like multiple threats. That's why the control matchup is just so good. It seems really hard to play a control deck when this deck is a thing. Okay, how much do I care about Teferi? They clearly don't have a Wrath, because they would have just shocked. So the only way I'm really scared about Teferi is if they have a Wrath, and if they had a Wrath, they definitely would have shocked. So in that case, I don't really think I care that much about Teferi. I think I'm just shoving them. Yeah. Most likely they have maybe some sort of removal spell for maybe like a Fatal Push. But I can still set up a two-turn lethal clock if I attack with both. I mean, I guess if... Yeah... No, I'm just sending both at them. Because even if I decide that I want to change my mind and attack Teferi next turn, if this doesn't die somehow, I can just send, like, this at Tef. I mean, obviously they could draw a Wrath, but... So probably Counterspell? Do I care about Counterspell? Not really. Well, I think that means I'm not going to play Lotleth Troll into their pretty obvious counterspell. Because they just took 10 damage. Like, I just don't need to play anything. I'm just going to win this game with, like, Familiar plus food. I just don't really need to do anything. Are they countering this? Are they stealing Asmo? Each opponent sacrifices a creature, you gain 4 life. I think I'm sacrificing Asmo? Yeah. Because I can't get back the Troll King this turn. I'm 1 food short. So I can make 2 food here. So I'm just gonna sacrifice the Asmo. But now we can freely play the Lotleth Troll, which is pretty damn good. Yeah, I don't really know how they get out of this. We haven't even drawn an Urza Saga. Imagine if we draw a Saga. Sure, that's fine. They can cast a Supreme Verdict to essentially Fog, which doesn't kill this, and both of these come back. So yeah, I don't really know. The Kazgal doesn't even accomplish anything. If they Kazgal to make me sack Exile, I sack the Familiar. Well, I guess they get the Familiar either way, right? But it's not even close to good enough, because then they just die to the Troll King and the Troll. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're supposed to do. So they're casting Snapcaster Mage, which I will let resolve. Choose targets. I'm going to let them put the Guile on the stack. See what they do. I assume it's going to be sack Exile. Well, no, because then they're just dead, right? Yeah, they're just dead on board if they do that. Exile, you gain 4. Well, that doesn't actually do what you want it to do. So just get the Daredevil back. Sure. Okay. Untap. Drew a Goose. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Time 12. If I send everything at them, they get to keep the Teferi and bounce the Troll, which is kind of annoying. So I think I'm just going to attack the Troll at Teferi, this Troll at Teferi, and these 2 at them. And honestly, if they block Snapcaster Mage on that, I could discard both of these to kill Teferi. How much do I care about that? I think I'm only going to discard the Daredevil. Oh, you know what? I think I messed up. If I'd done this pre-combat, I could have discarded Daredevil pre-combat, played the Goose, got back the Daredevil. Yeah, okay, this was bad. Well, no, it's fine, because I can do it this way. Discard this, get back the Daredevil, discard the Daredevil, kill Teferi, and then still play the Goose to get back Daredevil. And then pass, right? Yeah, pass. Oh, you know what? The card they could have Damn. Damn is no regen, isn't it? Is it? Let me look at. I actually don't remember. I don't recall if Damn is no regen or not. Let me take a peep at it. It might be. I think it is actually. Now that I think about it. Yeah. Okay. So Damn is their way to kill Troll. I forgot about that. People might be screaming at the screen now. You forgot about Damn. New cards, by the way. They can Kazgal me now, I guess. Just doesn't even matter, though, right? Like, they have to Cryptic Tap draw. Combat. Yeah, I just don't really know how they get out of this. I mean, they can, like, buy a bunch of turns, but it's not even close to good enough. I'm not going to play the Goose. No reason to. The reason not to is if they have Kazgal and respond to the Daredevil trigger, I can then discard the Goose to get the Daredevil back again, so. But they're going to need a lot of Cryptics. Because even if they cast Damn, I just get my stuff back. Like, it just doesn't matter. Sure. So they're going to bounce the Lotleth Troll, I would assume. They bounced that one? I can just get it back. They should have bounced the Lotleth Troll, I think. I mean, I guess it didn't really matter, but because I can just discard that to the cookbook. Anyways, all right. Thoughtseize good. Trail of Crumbs good. Force medium, endurance medium. Yeah, the rest of these cards are kind of medium. As good as Lotleth Troll looked that game, I actually forgot about, like, the Damn existing in their deck means I don't think I want it. I also could consider cutting Asmo in this matchup. Or, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think, given that Asmo is not that important to play on turn 1, I think I should just cut Street Wraith, actually. I think that makes the most sense. Because, well, no, that actually doesn't. Because it's not a matchup where they have a ton of creatures, so Asmo on turn 1 can provide a lot of pressure. Like, the sacrifice, you're almost never using this ability because they don't really play creatures, but what am I cutting? I definitely don't want to cut the familiars of the ovens. So I think it's either, like, Troll or Street Wraith or just some combination of both. Let's try and, like, just trim some numbers. 2 of each. I don't know if that's right. I could also shave a Troll King, but this hand's great. I keep. No. It's not great, but we have a Supplier into a Trail. Or a Thoughtseize into a Trail. That's probably better, right? Aether Gust, Opt, Teferi, Kaya's Guile. I'm going to take Aether Gust. It's the only thing that interacts with Trail. I get, like, obviously I could take Teferi, but they're kind of far away from that. They're going to cycle Opt here. I think it's fine. See what they did with their Opt. Curious. They don't have Counterspell. They put a card on the bottom. Alright, I'm just going to Slam Trail. Get the value train rolling. I am perfectly happy playing a long game in this matchup. Ooh, we even drew an Urza Saga? Well, that's game. Go. I'm just gonna sack the food and do the trail thing. I think that's better than playing some suppliers, especially because we know they have Guile. So maybe I want to try and find a Thoughtseize before I start doing that kind of stuff. Oh, they're missing a land drop. That is not good for them. take an oven. Why not? There's no chance they're letting this resolve, right? Might as well go for it. Oh my god, they let it resolve? Okay, deal. I'll just make some sagas. Urza Saga is so busted against them. My goodness. Aether Gust, the Trail. So I can just put it on top and then draw it again? Because I'm going to draw before I search off the Saga. Sure. Top. It's definitely a card I want to draw. They may end up countering it on the way back down, but I think that's okay. It's definitely the best card in my deck in this matchup, so. Alright, draw the Gust, or excuse me, draw the Trail. Make another thing. Get Cookbook, I think, because I already have an oven, and I want to turn on the Asmo. Cast Trail. Which I assume they have to counter. Playing it pre-combat to give me a food to pump this. But yeah, I don't really know how they win this game. Kind of said that a lot in the last game. And like, they've had a Kazgal in their hand. They've been able to cast it for 2 turns. And it just hasn't done anything. Like, this deck has... I think this deck has a ton of graveyard. Like, I hope this is a good showcase as to why this deck is so good against graveyard hate. Sack, make a 1/1. No, I don't have a cat. I was going to say I could discard cat, get it back, but I do not have a cat. Okay. Are they going to jump block? See if they block. If they're doing it before blocks, I assume they are. They're not. Do I want to make a food? Nah, I'll just hang on to the suppliers. Because I can churn through a lot of my deck with supplier plus oven, so I think I'd rather just wait. Alright, so we know about it to fairy. Alright, I'll take 1. The beatdowns. Does they have another Guile? Alright, no activations. Feasting Troll King. Trying to think if there's a reason to do stuff pre-combat. If I play Supplier, I can hit a Daredevil, discard Troll King, play Asmo, get Cookbook, play Cookbook, get back Daredevil. Yeah, it seems like a lot. I'm just going to attack first. Because I think when given that they've attacked, I think they're going to be casting Kazgal proactively here. Which makes me kind of want to wait, because I know they're going to be casting spells. So, I could go... No, I can't. Okay, so I'll just sack this. That's fine. But now I can kind of just go bananas with Troll King. So we're going to go... I guess I can fetch for a basic first. Ooh, I actually shouldn't have fetched because I might hit a... Alright, so let's discard Troll King. I might hit a Saga, and I would have wanted to play Saga that turn. But I would like to draw 3 cards off the trail. We'll take... I don't think I can utilize another Troll King. I'll take a Familiar. I guess I already have a Familiar in the graveyard, but I'll take a Goose. I'll take Tomb. Troll King comes back. And then play Goose, I think? Start the food generation. I could have also sacked the food to get back familiar and then paid for trail, which might have been better, but this kind of just gets me more value this way, so I think this is good. Like, what are they going to do? Play Teferi? What does Teferi even do here? Doesn't do much. They have to, like, minus on this. What are they plus? Maybe they have a removal spell? Question is, do I want to spew a food to get back familiar? No, wait. I'm down to just get more value. So, if they have removal spell for Troll King, then what's my plan? I mean, I'm just going to go to attacks. I think I'm not going to trade out the supplier. I'm just going to start by attacking Troll King and Teferi and see what they do. Well, we're just up 1,000 cards, so I don't really know if any of this matters too much. I guess the only way that they can possibly win this game is like Teferi Ultimate, but we're a ways away from that, and I should be able to make a good enough board to stop that, even if they have a kill spell here, like a Gust. Gust is probably what they have. But then I can just sack to Oven. Go for the throat. Okay. So, start by doing this, I think. Yeah. Get a Goose. Get a Daredevil. And a Troll. Now what? They have 3 cards. I guess it's time to Asmo. So let's discard Daredevil. Play Asmo. Get another book. And I can play Troll and hold up sneaky regen mana with Goose. It's probably my best play. Alright, go. Sure. So this might be a Cryptic. Oh, nope, it's a Wrath. Well, I guess Cryptic would still make the attack, but I will declare a block. Damn. Alright, let's activate the trail, because why not? I'm taking a backup Troll. And that's fine. Mill 3. I think I'm going to get back familiar. I have enough cards where I don't care about losing the food for familiar purposes, and I really just want to start plucking the Teferi, because again, I think Teferi is the only card keeping them in this game. And I have enough cards in my hand where I don't need to get max value off of Trail of Crumbs. I guess they could have Kaya's Guile here. Sack Exile. And that would... that'd be good for them. But... we get rid of 2 Troll Kings. But we can just find more with Trail, so... I think it's fine. Choosing not to kill the familiar. Interesting. I feel like they should have done that. We'll plunk Teferi for 1. Alright, let's see what we can do this turn. Let's start by casting Supplier. Try and spike another Troll King. We did. So now I can go play Cookbook. Discard Daredevil. Discard Daredevil. And then one more food. So sack Familiar. Just get more cookbooks. I already have another goose. I'll take an Asmo. Sure, I guess it's free. That's what we call free real estate. Play this. Do I want to put a lot with Troll into play? It's kind of annoying if they have like a fatal push. So I think I'm going to wait a turn on the Troll. Get the last cookbook. Play a goose. Goose lets me potentially get back Familiar if I want to do that. We'll pass a turn. Still have 7 cards in our hand. We might deck. I guess decking is a real concern. I guess that's something we have to be a little bit weary of. They put a card on the bottom. It's been a sweet game. Mostly just because I've had Trigger Trail like 17 times, but... This is exactly why I think this deck is so good. It's just like, Control just can't possibly beat this setup. Blue. Black. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, what are they targeting? Dam, probably? It's not bad, but... I guess playing the Supplier is a little risky, because that's makes it more likely I mill out. But... They're choosing not to overload it. Oh, do they have a third? They have the 4th Kaiasgail? Because they can untap 2 lands and then Kaiasgail me. Okay, sure. Yeah, they 100% have Guile here. No. I'm confused. Is that the first Saga we've seen? No, it's the second one. Okay. Alright, let's make a food. Kill Snapcaster Mage. I have 8 cards. I wonder if I should just decline this. I guess I'll keep going. Alright, there's another Troll King. And I'll take that backup Asmo. And go to combat. I will attack Teferi. Teferi goes to 2. Or not. Teferi goes to 2. Play Saga. Play Cookbook? Question mark? Play Cookbook? Let's go discard Daredevil. Discard Daredevil. And discard Daredevil. Do this. Now I think I'm not going to trail. Yeah, I'm just not going to trail. Because I want to leave up mana for Goose. I guess I could have trailed a couple of times there. But I also kind of don't hate playing a troll. And then passing with this up. Maybe I should have been ignoring Teferi that turn. I'm not sure. What is this? Draw 2, sure. I possibly didn't play this game super optimally. Archmage's Charm, that's fine. I guess we are in a little bit of danger of decking, especially if they have another Wrath. We get a 15 cards. But we can hopefully set up some stuff with Saga and do that kind of thing. Alright, untap 2. Let's make a food. Sack the food. Do the familiar thing. How many ovens do I have left? Do I have all my ovens? Okay. Sure. Let's go to combat. I'm just gonna attack everything at them. I'm done attacking Teferi because this is beyond a lethal attack. I'm going to try and get them dead because they didn't cryptic tap my team and they don't have a Raveler in place. They can't cast a sweeper. I was thinking of like Settle the Wreckage or something weird like that. I'm not gonna play around Settle. I assume it's some generic removal spell for Troll King and then take the rest or something like that. Like go for the throat. 1/1 gain 4. So they go to 17. Alright, before damage. Or before blocks, excuse me. I will try to kill that. Because it gains me... It essentially deals 3 damage with the Asmo. Because I know that my other big creatures have trample, but... Okay, they finally had enough. Yeah, that game was awesome. As you can see, I just like... The game ended after they had a Teferi in play. I never killed it. They had it in play for... They played it on turn 5, didn't they, on curve? Or maybe they missed the land drop. But they had it in play for at least 4 or 5 turns. And I still ended the game up 14 more cards than them. So, yeah. This deck's great. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. Alrighty, YouTube. Round 3 time. Back here with the broken deck, excuse me. I was going to say, like, some combination of broken and busted. It's a little bit of both. This hand, however, is not broken or busted. If we spike an Asmo, this hand is obscene, but I think we have better 6s. Okay, this hand at least plays. Do I want to put back the second Street Wraith or the Oval Chase? Keeping the Oval Chase is better if I draw Asmo or Cookbook. But Street Wraith gives me shots at drawing the Asmo or the Cookbook. It's kind of close. I think I'm going to put back the Daredevil. But I could see arguments for either one. Second Street Wraith I think is higher upside. Okay, well, 2 lands is not the best. Now our hand doesn't really do anything. I spoke too soon about the deck being broken. And we cycle 2 straight wraiths against what appears to be burn, so that's probably not very good. Although I do think the burn matchup is quite favorable. It's hard for them to beat recurring food. 3 lands in a row, huh? 4 lands in a row, excuse me. Alright, well, we're probably dead, because we drew 4 lands in a row. 21 lands, by the way. I think it's just better to make a food so I can have a bigger construct next turn. Not really sure. Guess I could have gained 3, then made a construct. Go to 9. I drew a Stitcher's Supplier. I think we're going to have to hope that constructs carry us home. Because I could play Supplier, sack a food, but then I just have no threats in play. So, I think that's worse. I mean, I'm probably just dead this turn, but I feel like the line of play Supplier, sack a food is not a line to actually win the game. Although maybe it is. Because then the next turn... Huh. Yeah, because in the next turn I just sack this, get Cookbook, and then I can put the Troll King into play. So maybe that actually is a line to win the game. Alright, make a 3/3. They probably have Bolt, put me to 5. Yeah. Alright, so we go to 5. That's a lot of lands. So... I have the option to put Troll King into play. But then I can't gain life. Because what I could do is just Saga, make a thing, get Cookbook, discard Troll King, get back Troll King, play Supplier. But then I'm not sacking a food to gain 3 life is the issue. And then I'm at 5 against the burn deck with 2 mana. That also missed a land drop and has 4 spells in hand. I think I have to put Troll King into play and just kind of hope I dodge 2 1-mana spells or land 2-mana spell, 1-mana spell. So I'm going to do that. Again, I'm taking the line that like the line that allows me to win the game, not that allows me to not lose the game. That's I think the no, because this puts me to 6, so it's the same thing. All right, Troll King. 6 is no different than 5 in this matchup. All right, well, if we don't die, we can maybe get out of this. Well, looks like we're dead. Man. Needed like one more good spell. Okay. Alright, well, burn should be a buy, so I'm not too worried about it. Fatal Push is fine. Trail is way too slow. Street Wraith is bad. Push is good. I like bringing Nature's Claim too, because it kills Eidolon and potential graveyard hate cards. I'm not a huge fan of Force. Yeah, this looks Gucci. But I've played this matchup a lot from, different iterations of the deck, and I think I've yet to lose to burn, actually. I'm like 4 or 5-0 against it. It's just like making a bunch of food is so hard for burn to beat. We lost that game because we drew 2 Street Wraiths. If we were at 2, even if we were at 2 higher life, I think we'd probably win that game. So, yeah. So this hand goes Basic Swamp, Cookbook. It doesn't have any engine pieces. I mean, we have Asmo, but we don't have any way to generate a ton of food. I think this hand's still good, because we can Supplier in the Troll King, and we have a removal spell for maybe an Eidolon or something of that nature. So I think it's good. I'm just going to get Basic Swamp, mitigate damage. I think it's better to start with Cookbook. So then even if I brick on land, I can still play Asmo next turn. The question is, am I discarding here? Discarding is better if I don't draw land. Yeah, I probably can bin the second supplier. I think it's fine. Hopefully they play Goblin Guide. Lava Spike. Alright, I'm gonna play it a little safe here and discard. Okay, so now we discard the other supplier? Or the Oven? Oven's not really doing much for us. Could discard the second Asmo, but it's worse if they have Searing Blaze. What does Supplier do for us? Supplier can find Daredevil, which would be pretty good. Alright, I'll discard the second Asmo. Not sure about that. Go. So now Eidolon doesn't do anything because we can just kill it. I assume this is a Searing Blaze. If I had to guess. Of course. Didn't draw land. We drew a Troll King. I'm going to Supplier first in case I hit Daredevil. Did not hit Daredevil. But we're at 13. We have a Troll King. I think if we draw a land, just any land, I guess preferably not a shock land, but I think any land is probably good enough here. Okay. Maybe not now. Really unfortunate. Huh. Okay, go, I guess. So they go to 6. They could have a path. I should have played Witch's Oven there. I'm really dumb. Yeah, because if I played Witch's Oven, then path doesn't do anything. That was bad. I should have played Oven. There's no reason to have a second Cookbook. Because now I'm probably just going to lose the path. Okay, well, I didn't draw a path, thankfully. I could have got extra punished for that play. Submit. No changes. Not playing the Oven there was really loose. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking, but... Alright, on the draw. I just want a fast Troll King and Painless Mana. This has... half of that? I mean, this hand has a lot of upside. We can go turn 1, Supplier, or Oven, or Hold Up Push. And then we can go Troll, discard Troll King. Yeah, I think this hand's okay. We don't quite have enough food generation to get back the Troll King early, but we're close. Oh. Or we could just draw Best Possible. That works too. I'm going to play Yavimaya first. Because then maybe I don't even tap this for... Maybe I don't even fetch this. I can just tap this for green. I mean, most likely I'm going to end up getting a Swamp if they play like an Eidolon here or something, but they could have a Smash. Like that they took a damage there that they didn't need to take. The issue with playing Lotleth Troll here is if I play Lotleth Troll, I can only make it 3 toughness, so even if they have a burn spell, I can't get it out of burn range. So I think it's just better to crack for a basic Swamp and then play Supplier Oven. Because no matter what I do, I can't get back the Troll King this turn. Right? Yeah, so Supplier. We had a Cauldron Familiar. Well, that's pretty good. Let's just do this main phase. Well, they don't have the Skullcrack available for Whirling Vortex. Pass, we're at 17. This game's going to be pretty rough for them. We can end step, make a food, untap, make a food, sack the familiar, make a food, and then put Troll King into play. At 17. It's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like this game should be fine. I guess if they have Smash to Smithereens this turn on Oven, maybe it's closer. I think at this point I'm just going to discard the Troll. I don't really think I plan on playing it. See if they have Smash. I kind of assume they have Smash here. But if they have Smash, then they're not holding up the Skullcrack. And then at that point, I don't even have to Troll. I can just gain 3 life. Like, if they ever tap out, I just don't know how they beat 3 life a turn. They really need to be hitting land drops in order to utilize Roiling Vortex the way that they want to be utilizing it. But because they're choked on mana, it just makes it really awkward for them. Because they have to cast spells, right? Because once I put Troll King into play, they have to try and race somehow. Daredevil, not a bad draw. Let's attack first. It's actually quite a good draw. Am I scared about not holding up food this turn? No, the most they can do is 2 1-mana spells, untap, land 3 1-mana spells. Is that even possible? No, because that requires 6 cards. So the most they can do is 3, 6, 9, 12, plus 1 is 13. So I don't actually have to worry about doing that this turn. So why don't we sacrifice the cat? I guess we should do this first. I don't know if it matters too much, but because they could have Surgical in their deck. I don't really think Burn usually plays Surgical. Also, if they Surgical, they take 5 damage, so I think I'm okay with that. We could have Path. Should I play around Path? I'd have to wait an entire turn because I'd have to hold the Oven up. I don't think I should play around Path. Because to be honest with you, if they have Path, it means it's 1 less burn spell. So I think I'm just okay with that. Like, yeah, it stinks. But it's 1 less spell, and we still have 2 1/1s that we're clocking with, and we can just gain life here. And we have the Familiar too. So I think it's fine, even if they have Path. I don't want to wait. Because if their hand is all burn and not Path, then I kind of have to Troll King now to try and win the race. And if they have Path, it's 1 less burn spell, so I think that would be fine with me. Alright, they do have Path. It's mildly annoying, but again, I don't think it's that bad. Okay. Bolt. So they go to 12, and they have 2 cards in hand. That doesn't really accomplish much. Honestly, it might just take 2. Asmo on top. I definitely want to draw Asmo, so I will take 2. Alright, discard Daredevil. Get some Daredevils back. Play Asmo. I think I might just hold up foods instead of playing Cookbook. Because what can happen is I can go to Familiar them, and if they decide to Roiling Vortex me, then I can respond, tap Oven, sack Familiar, gain 3 off the food. Yeah, I'll just pass. And I mean, they're not winning this game without casting spells, so they're the ones who have to act. Alright, I'm at 7. I'm going to end step the Familiar. choosing not to activate Vortex. Which, again, doesn't matter to me. Like, if they want a Vortex here, then I can just untap and gain 3 life. So, perfectly okay with them Vortexing there. And I'll just cast Fatal Push, because why not? And this is just lethal. They go to 1 and then they die to their own Vortex, so. Yeah, 3-0. Opponent took a couple unnecessary damage when we had the Yavimaya, but I don't think it would have mattered too much. But yeah, 3-0. Deck's great. I don't think we've lost a game yet, have we? No, oh no, we lost 1 game. Yeah, it's true. Game 1 to burn. Anyways, 3-0. I'll see you back in just a little bit. Round number 4. What's up, YouTube? Round 4. 3-0 with the broken deck. What does this hand do? This hand has some food stuff. We need to find either an oven or an Asmo, or a Troll King. This hand has a lot of good redraws. I'm going to keep it. We can even afford to cycle both Wraiths here because we have the Cookbook, even if we draw Asmo later on. So I'm just going to start by cycling the Wraiths and go from there. Saga's a good draw too. What do I want to lead on? I think I just want more mana, so I'm going to lead on the Goose. And I also want to lead on a colored spell so I can go Saga double spell next turn. Right, so if I play Cookbook, then next turn I play Saga, I can't cast 2 colored spells, so that's why I think it's better to... Oh, well, we just draw best possible. That's good, too. So let's go Cookbook, discard Familiar, play Asmo, get Cookbook. Should I sack a food to play the other Cookbook? Trying to think of what that accomplishes, because then I just have to discard the other Familiar, or I would discard the other Familiar to get a food. I don't think it's actually worth it. I don't think it really does much. I kind of hope our opponent's playing Heliod. Not that I think Heliod's a good matchup, but I haven't played against it, and I want to see how the matchup plays out. I think it's probably very unfavorable, but yeah, they are playing Heliod. I don't know, maybe this card's just good enough to just, like, invalidate their entire deck. I'm not going to get back to Familiar. There's no point. I'd rather just keep max food and play for Asmo. So now we go discard Daredevil. Might as well kill this thing now. Question is... Okay, so I can go... I guess I can't hold up 2 activations of Asmo, because I can tap, sack a food. The only way I would be able to do that is if I didn't activate Saga. But I think I should hold up the Saga activation. So I think what I'll do is just play Cookbook. Cookbook main phase, just to play around shenanigans. I don't know what they could have, but... And then I'll just attack for 3, leave up 2 activations. Yeah, this is good. I mean, I assume they have to have Skyclave here, right, in order to compete? They have to kill Asmo. I will kill the Mentor in response, so they can't put 2 counters in the Heliod. Not that that matters too much, but... Oh, I guess this would die anyway, so it wouldn't matter. I guess it did not matter in the slightest, but... Alright, we'll make a thing. We'll make another thing. Get another Cookbook, just so I can get more activations. Play this. Make 1,000,000 food. Tag you for 1,000,000. Good God, this deck is obscene. This is 12 damage. It's 14, right? Because it's 12. And then we can go bring back cat. Did I miss lethal? Bring back cat, play cat. I may have missed lethal there. We'll pass. So now they go company into, like, I don't know, Skyclave plus... Yeah, sure. That does not even come close to doing it. I just attack. No, it's not happening. Okay. Maybe the Heliod matchup's good. I don't know. Push Thoughtseize. This seems bad. Trail seems kind of slow. Claim does not hit Heliod. They probably have Rest in Peace. Maybe I want Claim. These all seem bad. This seems bad. So some combination of these 8 cards, potentially. What's bad against them? Troll's kind of bad against Path and Skyclave. This is not a Troll matchup. Troll's usually good against Bolt and Push, not Path and Skyclave. So that's 5 cuts. Maybe I trim... I think I want to keep the Street Wraiths because of how important early Asmos is to kill Arbor Elf. So maybe I trim... I could shave a land. Because I kind of want to bring in the Thoughtseizes and the Pushes, all 3 of each. Could trim a Troll King. I guess because the matchup is more about Asmo than it is Troll King, I don't mind shaving a Troll King, because if I have leftover food, I'd much rather be sacrificing it to Asmo, because I think that's more important. So maybe I'll just shave a Troll King. Also, Troll King's worse against Rest in Peace, so that makes sense. Let's do that. Push Thoughtseize. I like Thoughtseize a lot against Collected Company. It sucks if they bring in Veil, which they probably will, but... this hand doesn't actually do anything, right? What can we supply her into to make this hand good? Nothing, really. Yeah, I think this hand's a mulligan. So this hand has Push, Cookbook, Saga. I think it's okay. I'm going to keep the fetch land for Fatal Push purposes. Just pitch this. This hand needs a little help. This hand needs like an Asmo, basically. Opponent's asking for the list. Do I Cookbook first? Yeah, I think I Cookbook first. Green, white. Conclave Mentor. Okay. Do I want to activate the Cookbook? Activating Cookbook is good if I draw Troll King, because then I can go discard Familiar, untap, discard Troll King, discard Catacombs, push the Mentor, play Saga, put Troll King into play. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think I'm going to discard the Familiar. It's high upside. I'm not going to get the Familiar back, but... because I want to keep the food in play in case I draw Troll King, or even Asmo. It's not the worst draw in the world. So I really want to get the Saga going, so I'm going to play the Saga here. And then I think I'm just going to play Oven and hold up Fatal Push. Like, how much do I want to kill this? Because I could just play both of these, although the second Cookbook isn't that great. I'm definitely playing Oven, so I can do the cat stuff. Oh, actually, no, I should definitely leave up, because I have a Revolt trigger with the Familiar plus Oven stuff, so I don't need to... yeah, this is good. I don't think I'm going to push that yet. it would have been nice to like play if I thought that they had Veil to do it while they didn't have green up. So it might have been worth it, but okay. Well, now I kind of this is bad because now if they have Arbor Elf or not Arbor Elf, they have Spike Feeder next turn. Because even if I Fatal Push, they have the Mentor to sort of prevent me from Fatal Pushing. Because if the Spike Feeder would come into play with 3 counters, they remove a counter, I push in response, then they remove a counter again, and then Infinite Life, which I can't beat. So I think my best bet is to just kill the Mentor now, and hope they draw maybe another Fatal Push, or a Thoughtseize. I could have Veil. They don't have Veil. Or they just chose not to use Veil. So, get back Cat. Sack Cat. Get back Cat. No reason to activate the cookbook. Drew another cat. That's not the best. Well, I am going to lose if they have Arbor, or, I don't know, I keep calling it Arbor Elf. Spike Feeder. They don't know that on a Fatal Push, but... Okay. Let's see if they go for it. They probably are going to wait. I just wait till my upkeep. Sucks because I can't even Saga here. I should have done the cat stuff, but... Okay, I'm just going to concede. Alright. I did not find a removal spell. I don't really think anything changes. Force and Nature's Claim still don't kill Heliod. Like, Heliod's been on the downswing recently, so I chose not to play copies of, like, things that you would normally see. Unravel the Aether, Mystic Repeal, stuff that shuffles Heliod back in. I chose not to play those cards because Heliod's been on the downswing recently, but, you know, if Heliod starts to pick back up, you can probably, you know, sideboard accordingly. I think you can make this matchup good, is what I'm getting at. This hand doesn't go anywhere, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand also doesn't go anywhere, but we have Oven, Cat, Cookbook, Push. I think I'll keep and ship the Urborg. Actually, I'll ship the Swamp for Path to Exile purposes. I want to keep my green source in case they have, or in case I draw Gilded Goose. So what's better to play first? Probably Familiar to get more damage through. And then I just play both of these next turn. They don't have a 1-drop, which is decent for me. Drew the Goose, not bad. Now I can just play Oven Goose. See if they have Rest in Peace. It'd be unfortunate if they did. But to be completely honest with you, if they have Rest in Peace and I draw Asmo, I mean, as long as you have Asmo in play, then you're chilling. Obviously, if they draw Skyclave, then that's a different story, but... Conclave, Mentor. Alright, let's do this. I do plan on pushing the Mentor, so I'm just going to get this back now. Especially if I drew another push. So they go to 18. I don't really think there's a reason to get the cookbook into play. I guess there's no reason not to. Alright, pass. We need to find like a Troll King or an Asmo. We need to find a payoff, basically. Alright, no third land. Sack Cat. Bring back Cat. Another goose is not the best. I'll still play it. Alright, who gets out of it first? Does my opponent find a third land, or do I find a payoff? Well, we've answered that question. Do they have Skyclave for Oven? That'd be a little unfortunate. I would not cast Fatal Push on it, though. I'm saving the Fatal Push for a Spike Feeder. Like that. So they go to 12. I push the feeder, they go to 16. And then we have to draw Asmo. I mean, Asmo is our single best draw for sure. I'd rather draw Asmo than Troll King. Any Asmos? Any Asmos? Well, I could hit a Troll King. Yeah. Wrong order. I'm going to high upside here and try and spike a Troll King. Oh, I guess I can't even Troll King. Oh, no, because I get a food off the oven, yeah. I did find the Troll King, so that's good. Alright, well, one ball. We got a 15, and we have a 2-turn clock. But the problem is, if they have the combo pieces in hand, they just go combo piece, take a hit, combo piece, dead. I'm dead. And I only have one Fatal Push left, but I guess I could draw Asmo. So if they play a combo piece and I draw Asmo, I think I'm Gucci. Because worst case, I can always sack the Troll King to the oven to get 2 food to trigger the Asmo. Because I know I'm not going to have enough food to play it. Oh, I guess I can't even cast the Asmo. That's bad. Right, I can't even cast Asmo if I draw it because I have no cards left. That's really bad. Do they also have Path? Well, that's even worse for me. Okay. Alright, go. Unfortunate. Just kind of bricked on a payoff for too long. Again, I think this matchup is not bad. Because Asmo is just the stone cold nuts against them, but just bricked on a payoff for too long. 3-1. See you in the next round. See you in just a little bit for round number 5. Alrighty, YouTube. Round 5 time. We are 3-1. Oh, this hand is suspect. I'll throw it back. No green mana. This hand also kind of doesn't do anything, right? We can go turn 1 supplier into... Even if we had a Troll King, we don't have enough food generation. I'm going to go to 5. This, I think, is a much better 5. So put back Daredevil, Troll. Yeah, and then we just Saga them a bunch. So hopefully they're playing a slower deck. I think I'm going to get Overgrown Tomb. Because the way that our hand is set up, we kind of have to assume they're not playing Burn anyways. Because like our hand's too slow to beat Burn, even if we get a basic. Steam Vents. Okay. May or may not be a slow deck. Could be Delver, could be... I guess it could be Breach. Breach is probably not a great matchup. Alright, second Daredevil is pretty bad. The extra Daredevils don't really accomplish much. But we're going to be able to get 2 Saga tokens that don't die to Bolt, so maybe that races Breach. Not sure. The nice thing about Emrakul is, like, we can just take a hit, you know? As long as we're above 15, we have more than enough random stuff to sacrifice to Emrakul. Just throws a bunch of permanents into play. Just random foods and stuff. Hopefully this game will showcase the power of Urza Saga, even though we've probably already done that in this video, but even more so. Just a mulligan to 5, having a Saga, you know, just kind of... Saga kind of does it all by itself. All parts of the buffalo. Spire Bluff Canal. I'm not going to cycle that. For reasons I've already stated, I do not want to go to 15. I'll make them have a bolt. I mean, good chance they have a bolt, but you never know. Opt is fine. I guess you know what they could have? They could have Archmage's Charm. I guess Archmage's Charm taking a token means that they only get a 1/1. Oh, are they Storm? Okay. So they're Storm and not Breach. Well, that's probably a lot worse for us. Because I might just die next turn. Nothing I can really do about it. Alright, make a thing. Okay, how do I want to play this turn? Make another thing. 6, 6, 7, 7. Get a cookbook. Attack for 9. It's the most damage I can present. Okay, sure. I mean, I'll do that. Cookbook I think is better because it's just more food, which I think is the only thing that matters. But again, I'm probably just going to die. I guess what I could have done... I guess the only way I could have maybe... maybe I messed this up. I could have cycled Street Wraith to try and find Asmo. But although... Yeah, so what I could have done was with the third chapter on the stack, cycle this. If I drew Asmo, then I just don't make another thing. And I just play Asmo. And then that way if they have a bunch of like dorks... Not a bunch of dorks, but if they have Goblin Electromancer or Baral, then I could just kill it after they cast their spell. So that might have been a way to prevent me from dying. Although we're probably just, yeah. So I would have gotten one more look at Asmo. So I'll draw my next card when I concede, but... Gifts with 1 floating. I believe they need 1 more mana. So I don't think this is deterministic, because I could just give them Manamorphose Past in Flames, Manamorphose up to 2 mana, land up to 3. Okay, they had a ritual. Deterministically dead. That is unfortunate. Alright, we would have not have drawn the Asmo, so would not have mattered. Damping Sphere is good. I don't think the Graveyard Hate is very good. Thoughtseize and Fatal Push are both good. Endurance stops Past in Flames. That might be something I want to go towards. Don't think I want Nature's Claim. Trail and Troll, kind of bad. These are generally the weakest cards in the deck, but they do serve a purpose. So, given how many answers I'm bringing in for the creatures, I think I want Street Wraith less, because I don't need to prioritize Asmo, and I think the Familiar... Actually, what if I just cut a Familiar in an Oven, keep the 3rd Wraith? Yeah, Familiar Oven is just too slow in this matchup, and this gives me 4, 5, 9 green cards for Endurance. It's low, but I can maybe hardcast it. Plus I have Goose for additional green mana to hardcast. So I think this is probably fine. Okay. This hand... Again, kind of doesn't really do anything. We can cycle these, try and spike Asmo. I guess Troll King's also good. Alright, I'll keep this. This hand has a lot of good redraws. It doesn't do anything, per se, but it's got a lot of good redraws. I'll just cycle first. That's not a good redraw. That's also not a good redraw. Getting a little bit unlucky, I would say. Mill the Thoughtseize on a push. Those are not where those want to be. Drew a cookbook, which is not bad. I'm gonna Supplier instead of Familiar to try and find a Daredevil. Did not find a Daredevil. So then if I hit a Daredevil, I could get the Daredevil back after I discard the Troll King. And then I could just generate more food that way. I am going to end step discard the Troll King in case I draw another cookbook. Because it might be more beneficial to try and get the Troll King into play as quick as possible rather than start activating Saga. I'll have to do the math. If I do draw the cookbook, that is. Obviously, if I don't draw a cookbook, I'm just going to make a Saga token, but... Endurance would be a good draw, because I have a green card to pitch. Which I guess means I should actually discard the Familiar in case I draw Endurance, because then I can go Saga, hold up Saga, and pitch Endurance. Yeah, so I should discard the Familiar first. There's no reason to there's no reason to discard the Troll King first, you know? Is there a consideration to Familiaring here? It gets an extra damage. Potentially 2 if I... it's just... I don't think it's too marginal. I drew a Thoughtseize, which is really awkward because I can't activate Saga and Thoughtseize. I can Thoughtseize this turn and then activate Saga next turn. I guess this is a spot where maybe... Yeah, maybe I should have boarded in Tormod's Crypt. I thought that crypting or sagaing for crypt was going to be too slow, but would have been pretty good if I had a crypt here, because I would certainly get it. May have been an oversight. I kind of feel like I have to Thoughtseize them. It feels bad, but... A braid. Don't care, don't care. Bolt Ritual, opt repeal. Huh. So they can repeal Saga's tokens. I guess I should take repeal because it's going to be... Okay, so let's say I take repeal, attack for 2, they go to 17. Pass. End step, discard Troll King. Untap. Trigger on the stack, make a Saga token. Discard the card that I draw. Get the Troll King back. Then they take 2 more, go to 15, and then I would have 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So cookbook would be lethal. Oh no, I'm going to get a cookbook off of this. So yeah, I would have lethal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 14. I think I'm 1 short. I'm going to take repeal anyways, because I think I have to... I think I need the token for pressure. It's the cleanest answer to a Saga token. Okay, they played Pathway. Should not F6 in case they decide to abrade. They drew Baral, which is quite unfortunate because now they can Baral and abrade this. So... discard the Troll King. See if they want to kill the cookbook now. If they do, I don't really care. Because I can just get another one. And I guess their follow-up can be abrade. I guess they can also abrade the token thing. They might mess up here. So I make a token here. Oh, it's a 4/4, so they can't really mess up. I was gonna say they might try and bolt the token or something, but it's a 4/4, so they won't do that. Just get... I guess being this low on resources, get a second cookbook just doesn't do anything, so I'll get an oven. I can make another thing next turn. This is tough. So I think what I do is sack supplier for a food. Yeah, sack supplier for a food. See where we're at. Daredevil would actually be kind of nice. Missed on Daredevil. It's unfortunate. Let's see what they choose to do. They might not even act here. I mean, I assume they're going to end up upgrading the cookbook, right? I don't know. I guess they just upgrade the construct. So I have the option... Yeah, so I think what I do is just sack 3 food, bring back Troll King, play land, and then I can... Playing the land is good instead of cookbooking because I can make another Saga next turn. So I think that's better. I mean, they're kind of far away from comboing me, right? Like, even if they opt here... they hit, like... gifts, I guess, might get them out of it, but... Or get them closer to comboing. They decided to bolt the construct. Okay. That's interesting. I wonder why they didn't use a braid there. Because I'm kind of low on life total. I feel like they could just... I mean, maybe it doesn't matter because they're just going to end up abrading plus bolting this, or like double abrading this, but... So they cast bolt, they cast opt. So they have abrade, ritual, 2 unknowns. Oh, did they actually find ritual plus gifts? Seems like they did. 5 mana, gifts, 2 floating. That's deterministic, right? No, they still need 1 more ritual. Because I give them Manamorphose, Past in Flames. Right, with 2 floating, Manamorphose up to 3. Past in Flames, no floating. Right, I guess a land works too, but... I don't really think there was much I could have done differently. I feel like these 2 losses are just us, like, kind of just missing out on a payoff. And maybe that means I should just be, like, changing my mulligan decisions. You know what I mean? Just, like, mulligan more towards the payoffs. Alright, so they have a braid and 1 unknown. I mean, I can maybe beat this setup. If they don't really have much left. They chose to kill all my stuff. Oh, well, never mind. Alright, well, 3-2. Pretty unfortunate. I mean, I think that those 2 matchups are kind of bad. Like the Heliod and the Storm matchup. But I also think we got pretty unlucky in those 2 matches. So, I don't know. I think the deck is still incredibly broken. I think there's maybe a couple of things that we want to work on in terms of maybe moving some of the numbers around. I wasn't a huge fan of Lotleth Troll. I'm not sure what a good replacement is. But I'm going to keep working on this deck because I think there is something in this space that is potentially pretty broken. But in any case, if you made it all the way to the end, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.